Good morning, everyone. Mitch in the morning with Magic to Brighten Your Day. So I'm going to talk to you today about a lost American art form. It's called whittling. So in whittling, you get a pocket knife and a hunk of wood, and you create a sculpture. So my grandfather was a whittler, and my dad loved the whittled work. And this is actually a whittled piece of art that my dad bought in auction one year, and it is whittled from a single piece of wood by a very famous American whittler called Peter Peltz. And this is a pine warbler, is the name of the bird. But look at the detail in this. Isn't this amazing? Right? So all done with a little pocket knife. So let me tilt the camera down so I can show you more about it. So this is my grandfather's pocket knife. It's called a staghorn knife, and basically it's the part over here is made from a deer's antler, which is pretty cool. Now my grandfather was never as good as Peter Peltz in whittling, but he was a good whittler. And when I got old enough, my grandfather actually gave me my own pocket knife, and mine was a mother of pearl, beautiful mother of pearl knife, so so I could learn to whittle. And really, whittling, I could never do it, and my mother was always afraid that I'd hurt myself with the knife. So I would keep it. I'd carry it with me in my pocket, but really I would never whittle. But I always have fond memories of my grandfather and watching him sit there and whittle. Now today there are no more good whittlers like Peter Pelt. There are no more good whittlers. But I do know there's one guy, a magician that I know, Steve Kilgore, and he whittles. I've seen him whittle sometimes. But I mean, look at the artwork in this, Peter Pelt. And I always had fond memories of my grandfather and him whittling. My grandfather was a bit of a magician also, and he always encouraged me, and he always put his little whittling knife in my hand, and encouraged me to try and whittle. He always put his knife in my hand. And then eventually, when I got my knife, he would put that in my hand, and we would try and whittle together. But like I said, I never got the hang of it, but I would always try, because he would always take time to put the knife in my hand. And then eventually he passed. But I know that he wants me to continue trying to learn to whittle, because he always would put my knife in his hand. I still have my grandfather's knife. I still have it, but he would always keep it in my hand. And that's how I remember my grandfather, with him putting my pocket knife in my hand. This is Mitch in the morning. There are art forms dying away. You don't hear about whittlers anymore. You don't hear about true sculptors anymore, chiseling with hammer and chisel at marble. Nowadays we have 3D printing, which is essentially, but you don't hear about the fine artists anymore. There are art forms that you just don't hear. You don't hear anything from mimes, right? It's a dying art form. Anyway, this is Mitch in the morning. Appreciate the artists around you. Artists have unique talents, and they should be supported. Have a great day.
If you'd like an episode of Mitch in the Morning dedicated to you or someone else, please message me on Facebook. I'll tell you how to make a donation through PayPal to the Hokey Pocus Children's Fun-dation. Hokey Pocus Children's Fun-dation is a 501c3 charity. We raise funds and awareness for children in need and the charities that support them. So make a donation, and I'll dedicate an episode of Mitch in the Morning to whomever you'd like. Your small donation is important. See you tomorrow.